Hi everyone, this is Demari. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to be doing the Shadow Work Tarot reading for the sign of Leo. Now, as you know, last weekend we had a really powerful full moon transit in the sign of Pisces. And particularly with this kind of energy, you'll find that for a lot of people, it was very cathartic. There was a lot of things that was brought to the surface that needed purging and healing. So this kind of read is really good for getting more clarity in regards to things that may have been brought to the surface so that you can really do the inner work. So to begin with, I'll be using the Dark Mirror Oracle deck to really shine a light on what it is that your shadow aspect is revealing at this time. Then moving on to the Wild Unknown Tarot to get more information in regards to whatever circumstances are at play. And then using the Intuitive to clarify as usual where needed. So let's just get stuck in then for you. So what is it that's being revealed to you at this time, Leo? Okay. So you got the perchance to dream, okay? So this is a very sedate place of being, right? This is very much like being lost in the abyss, okay? This is what I associate with this card. And it's interesting that I pulled this because it's not often that it comes up, actually. But that's what it's mainly conveying here. You'll see that there's two men intertwined. This one is sort of in a prince, almost, in his slumber with the crown there. And then there's this shadowy sort of fair-haired, being that's almost like disintegrating, right? So I feel like this is two aspects of the self. I feel like you are in a place of slumber right now, that you're laying yourself to rest in the abyss in order to have this dream state, right? To be in this position of not having to awaken certain aspects of yourself that you would lay dormant, okay? So that could be in regards to your emotions, processing some things that still need work, need some healing. But rather than moving forward with that, you're kind of moving into this space, or have been for some time, in this space of just kind of going with it and just letting go and just almost resigning yourself to being in purgatory in order to enjoy the fantasy and the concepts of things rather than shaping your reality and manifesting, right? That's what I feel like is being conveyed here. That you're allowing yourself to remain in this state of sedation, right? Rather than actually doing something that isn't just numbing the pain, right? So let's see what else is being revealed to you at this time, because it's never just one thing. There's always something else at play here. So I always like to pull two cards. So what else is going on, Leo? Okay. So you have blinded to pain. This has actually come up for a previous sign as well. But what this is communicating here is, again, it's kind of directly related to what I was just saying about the perchance to dream card. It's escapism, right, essentially. It's escaping the pain that you have felt. Any trauma, any lingering feelings of hurt that you've not been able to heal thus far. Rather than taking the blindfold off and dressing the wounds, right? You're keeping the blindfold on, you're keeping your sight hidden from the things that are causing you pain, i.e. like these flies festering on the wounds, right? Rather than dealing with them, you're just closing yourself off and allowing the pain to just take over, right? And I feel like that's very relevant to this here, this energy here, that you're turning a blind eye to your feelings, what's really going on beneath the surface, so that you can just fall into this full sense of security and lulled by, you know, your dreams, these visions, these ideas that you have, that's, you know, comfort your mind and would be, you know, such a nice existence to be in, but it's, you know, it's just a dream. It's not the reality you're in. So while you're dreaming this fantastical life or reality, your true reality is causing you a lot of pain, actually. But it's also self-inflicted, right? If you were willing to take the blindfold off, if you were willing to peel these flies off one by one and attend to your wounds and allow them to properly heal, then you will feel renewed. Sure, there may be some scars, there may be visible signs of your pain, but you'll be in a far better state, and you won't be allowing yourself to fester to the point where it could affect your health, affect your well-being in a serious way, right? So it's really important that you address it head on, rather than allowing yourself to be lulled by the what ifs and just imagining an alternate reality when your reality needs addressing, right? Various factors of it. So that's just to give you a bit of insight as to what those cards represent there. Obviously, if it doesn't resonate at all, that's fine, then it's possibly not your message. Maybe check out one of the other shadow work videos for your sun, moon or rising signs, depending on what they are. But if not, you can always, of course, come back at another time, because there may be a message for you in the future. So let's just have a look then as to what circumstances have been taking place, what will take place, and what you're moving towards in the near future. So what is going on? What was going on for Leo last week? Okay. So this column very much is in relation to the week we've just left behind. The middle column addresses where we're at currently, so this current week that we are in. And the final column is the week ahead, the last full week of September. Okay, so let's have a look then. So to begin with, for early last week you had the Nine of Pentacles, right? So I think that there was a lot of things that were brought to your awareness, okay? There were certain things that was brought to your attention about your reality that isn't mirroring this imagined reality that you have in your mind, right? As to where you wish to take your life, you know, the direction. So I think you have been assessing some things that you would like to do. I think you have some ideas, but nothing concrete. As I said, these are just dreams, right? But dreams that have not been acted upon. Just something to take the pain away momentarily, right? So some things have caught your eye. There's been something that's kind of piqued your curiosity and interest in manifesting something that's going to bring some kind of fulfillment in some way. Could be financial, it could be just a very positive connection. It could be anything really, but something that that's kind of made you pay attention to some other aspect that you would like to have more of in your life, right? We'll clarify that more. I know that's kind of vague, but we'll clarify that further. So then you've got the Nine of Wands in the upright, okay? And this is for the middle of the week that we just left. So you've been facing some challenges, right? There's been some things that have come up that needed your attention. And by facing those challenges, it brought some other factors to your awareness that you've maybe been overlooking. There may be some things that you've been purposefully ignoring, right? because you don't want to have to deal with it. It's kind of tied to the things that have brought you great upset, so you don't want to face it, so you've been kind of running from it. But because there's been certain things that have taken place recently that's forced you to address certain aspects, you've had no choice but to deal with these obstacles, right? So that's what I feel with that. And then the weekend, the time of the full moon, you had the 2 of Wands in reverse. So I think that you did form a connection with someone here, on some level. It might have been quite a powerful connection, at least where it comes to passion. But there was something still lacking, and you felt it. I think with this full moon, it may be that you already have this connection, and it's very passionate, it's very fast moving, it feels very good, but at the same time, there's something missing. There's something else that you want in relation to this, but you're not getting right now, I feel. And that was kind of brought to your awareness this weekend. Okay? So then, moving into this week, so where we're at now currently, you have the Sun of Wands. So I think that I think it came into your awareness what it is that you're looking for, what that spark is that you feel you don't currently have, or that you felt, but you didn't really understand what it was. There was just something that was really piquing your curiosity and your interest, right? On a very fiery, passionate level, right? Because that's you, fire energy, yeah, with this Wands. And you felt like there was potential for something new within this connection, I feel. Like there was a powerful spark that could lead to a very interesting beginning for you. But still, with this 2 of Wands in reverse, I felt like there was something missing though. And you may have realized what that was. So you're willing to go after that, okay? You know what it is that's missing now. So you want to pursue that further, okay? So then in the middle of the week, say tomorrow onwards, you have the 5 of Cups in reverse. So I think that some of the pain you've been feeling, some of the, anxieties, maybe even some depression, or some things that have triggered traumatic events in your life, like the feelings associated with that. I think you've been healing that, maybe through this connection, or just by communicating your feelings about these things with someone that you have a connection with. It's been helping you to turn things around. It's been helping you to heal in some ways. It's been helping you to process why you felt the way you did, right? So you may find that you're actually eating better, sleeping better, that you can communicate your thoughts better and your feelings, right? So I feel like there is some healing taking place at this moment in time, but you're still kind of pacifying yourself with this energy here, right? That even though you are doing the work, from what I can see, you are doing the work, there is some things you're still choosing not to address at this time. So that's what's preventing some of this, some of the pain that you have in relation to certain experiences you've had or circumstances is not being healed, is not being addressed, because those are the things that you still got behind a wall, okay? And then in the weekend you have the World card. So I think a lot of you are going to be traveling. You're going to potentially take a flight to somewhere else. Maybe you're going on holiday. Maybe you're going to see some family, some friends, or maybe even this connection is abroad. This connection you have with someone could be like a long distance connection, so you're going to spend time with them. Or, as I say, you might just be taking a vacation, or it could be a business trip. It's going to be different for different people, so just take it as it resonates if it does. But there's definitely some travel involved, I feel, over the weekend. You're going to be elsewhere. And maybe by having that by being in a different environment, that will help to give you some clarity as well, and make you realize some things as to what you've been doing here within this energy. So moving into the final week then, the beginning of the week, you have the 10 of Cups in reverse. So I feel like there's still some purging to be done for sure. There's still some things, I think maybe some toxic thoughts, behaviours, responses that you have to specific circumstances or individuals that still need addressing, okay? Or even maybe some beliefs or ideologies that need addressing, or perhaps you've just still got more purging to do, right? You've still got more healing to do, as I can see with this. So that's what's being called upon at this time, that you really need to break down these barriers, stop hiding in your, in the safe space that is your mind, your imagination, and really focus on your reality and what your shadow aspect is trying to reveal to you at this time, because it is also suffering as a result of this, okay? So in the middle of the week, you then have the Emperor card in the upright. So, I mean, that's quite an interesting placement, actually, especially with after this energy. So I feel like maybe you do come to realize certain things, and you come to understand that maybe your expectations of a situation or a person isn't overly realistic, or that you're wanting this emotional healing and emotional connection, but the way in which you're trying to approach it is not giving space for that. Or it could be simply that you're having to appreciate that things take time, progress takes time, growth takes time, connections take time to form, and it might not go as quickly as you want, and it may be making you feel a little bit sulky or stubborn, or just a bit. I just get like a sense of a bit of a tantrum energy, because you want it your way, right? You're the Emperor, you want it your way, but it's not happening that way, and it may be pissing you off a little bit. But I think you come to realize that you can't be like that. Like, even though, yes, frustrating, things aren't quite coming together in the way you envisioned, you do understand why it is the way it is. So even though you find it difficult, you're willing to exercise a bit of caution and a bit of patience, right? You're not going to act on impulse, I feel. And then moving into the end of the month, you have the Three of Cups. So I feel like there is going to be some, celebration. So it could be in relation to this travel as well, depending on how long you're traveling for. But if you're going for like a week or so or more, you could be having a lot of good times with friends, family members, colleagues, right? So I feel like you will be meeting up with more than one person. Even if you're going to meet this connection, I feel like there will be like a friends group setting kind of thing, where you'll really just kind of enjoy being in the company of others and being able to, communicate your feelings, your thoughts, what it is that you want, the things you care about, right? And finding that mutual ground where you can discuss ideas and, your feelings on things and how you would like to move forward, right? Maybe you'll be talking about some of your dreams here, okay? But that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing like communication in a group setting, right? So let's have a look then. Let's get some clarity for you, Leo, because I know there's various different things going on here. So it'd be nice to just get a bit more information as to what exactly is happening. So let's clarify this Nine of Pentacles then from the beginning of last week. Okay. So you have the Seven of Swords. Yeah, I feel like there's something that piqued your curiosity and made you want to manifest some change, something positive, but maybe you're not being totally honest about what it is that you want or how you want to achieve that, right? And maybe that's why it's not quite happening in the way in which you envision, because you're not giving all the facts, right? Or maybe you're just not communicating and expressing yourself clearly enough. It's too open, and you know, there's plenty of room for interpretation, right? So it's not clear what it is that you want. So yeah, really tap into that energy of what is it that I'm trying to manifest? What is it that I want more than anything? What is my heart's desire? What is my aspirations? What is the dream, right? the dream that I'm just, you know, allowing myself to just, you know, be in all the time. I'm literally just, you know, half the time in my head envisioning this dream, whatever it is. But what is that? Like, what is the dream? Because I haven't communicated that with anyone else, and definitely not the universe. And that's why it's not manifesting in the way that I hoped. So what is the dream? What is it that I'm trying to accomplish here? Because it's just, you know, it's just a vague concept at this point. It's not clear, right? Okay, so for this 9 of Wands, you got the 4 of Wands in reverse. So, yeah, I mean, it's like you're choosing your obstacles, right? You know there's certain things you have to overcome, right? There's certain challenges that you have to address, right? So you're doing that. But there's others that you're choosing not to turn a blind eye to, right? Because those ones tend to bear more weight, right? The promise, you know, that comes with certain aspects related to these obstacles are so much greater. And I think you're fearful of that as well, because particularly if this concerns a person, because I think you're afraid that then that would lead to something way more stable and long-term than you initially imagined, right? That you would have to invest more of your energy and just yourself in general to this circumstance than, you know, you were willing to do so, maybe. Or just the fact that, you know, some of you may be having marriage problems and you just feel like you don't want to, you know, continue down this path. You just kind of want a clean break, but at the same time you know that if this is what you really want, like if you really do care about this person and you want to heal these wounds, then you're going to have to overcome the challenges, right? You're going to have to put the work in. And I feel like for some of you, you're questioning whether or not you want to do that. So just take it as it applies, if it does, okay? Because it's going to be, like I said, it's different for different people. But yeah, I just feel like for some of you, it's like marriage issues, marital problems. For some of you, it's a fear of commitment. For some of you, it's kind of like the fear of going all in with your passions, right? That you know it's going to take a lot of work to get it off the ground, and you're afraid to invest so much time and energy into something that may not work or may not happen, right? But that's your wish fulfillment. That's what you've been wanting to manifest in your life. So you have to do it, right? So you have to go ahead anyway. Because with that 6 of Cups there, it just shows that that's what you actually want, though. So by running and pretending that it's not what you want, it doesn't make sense, because that just brings you more misery, right? And more pain. So by letting the fear of the unknown and the worry of the challenges and the difficulty that will come with that to stop you from going after your dream, really doesn't make sense, because then you're just sitting in this, you just like the idea of it, right? The idea of having this thing. but not wanting to do anything to actually make it real. And that makes no sense. That, you know, that doesn't bring any progress on any level, right? Okay, so what about the Two of Wands in reverse then? Because this is definitely, I feel like this section is to do with a connection. Either like, it could be a work connection or something related to this passion project that you wanting to begin, or it could be a romantic interest. So just take it however it applies. It's going to be different, okay? So you got the Nine of Wands. So, yeah, I mean, you saw that there was a lot of different ways in which you can approach this. But it may be that you're unsure of exactly what it is that they want, what they're trying to accomplish, what their goals are, right? If you're on the same page, maybe that's what you're unsure of. Are we on the same page? Do we want the same thing? You know, are we reaching for the same goals? Let me see if I can get anything else in relation to this. Yeah, Justice card. So you're trying to find that balance between give and take, and to find out if you are on the same page, if you do want the same thing, right? If you can work together on this, if you can make a relationship work, right, on whatever level, right? So that's what you're trying to assess and weigh up at this point, and you're just not sure. You don't have all the facts, right? You don't have enough information to know whether or not you're on the same page. Okay, so that's what you're going to be really thinking about, I guess, at this point as well, with this Son of Wands energy. I guess that's been on your mind, particularly over the weekend. I think this is what was brought to your awareness, that actually you do have a strong desire for this connection, but you have no idea if you're on the same wavelength, right? So let's have a look at where you're at now with this Son of Wands, because you've had some kind of realization and you know what you want now. It's very clear in your mind, and maybe you think there's a way in which you can accomplish it. Okay, so yeah, you got the Two of Wands. So again, that tells me partnership, connection, you know, creating something, building something together, something with a lot of enthusiasm, passion, joy, right? So I think that's likely either the partnership, as I was talking about, business partnership, or a relationship of some sort. And then you've got the King of Pentacles in the upright. So you're really wanting to embody this, I feel. Like you want to be in that position where you have it all, right? I think that's what I'm feeling with this. Like you want to have it all. You want the money, you want the stability, you know, you want the relationship, you want the, you know, the home, the car, the work, everything. You want to be on top form, right? I feel. So that's what you're trying to manifest at this time. You feel like, you know, certain pieces of the puzzle are coming together, but this connection is the one thing you're really unsure about, because the connection could be the thing that brings you the, you know, the stability in business or in work, but also in a relationship. It could be both, actually, that you're considering with this person. That not only that you go into partnership with them on a business level, but that you start a relationship with them as well. And maybe that's why you've put a lot of emphasis on this person at this time, because you feel like you can have it all with this person, right? Interesting. Alright, so what about the Five of Cups in reverse then? This is going into the midpoint of the week. So, you know, it's been very clear in your mind's eye, but I don't feel like you've taken any physical action at all in order to make it happen. And maybe because you've been working on the self more than anything, so you've needed to do that, which of course is important. But you have to be willing to invest as well. I feel like you want this connection, right? You want this to happen. You want this this opportunity for financial growth, to build something with someone in a business or in a project, but also you want a relationship with this person, you want a strong foundation on that level, but you're not willing to invest in it to this extent, you know. So that's your dilemma here. And that's what's kind of keeping you locked in this energy a little bit, because you have this ideal, right, this fantasy of how things could be, but it doesn't match up to the reality. And particularly as, you know, you are so fixated on this, you know, fantasy that you want, this dream life, right, that you're not accounting for the wishes of the other person, right? Because it may be very different, and maybe maybe there's been something that's been brought to your awareness that's making you realize that maybe they want something very different. Okay? So you have to really think about that and take some time to address that, because obviously nothing's ever the ideal, right? Everyone wants different things. So is there a place where in which you can compromise? Yeah. You have to be rational and logical about it. You know, King of Sword energy. And communicate clearly what it is that you want. Because it may not be clear to the other person either. You know, you have to be very honest and direct about what it is that you actually are looking for, right? What you're trying to create and what you would like to have with this person. But that's the thing, you have to also be very honest about what you're prepared to put in, right? Like, how far are you willing to go with it? Are you willing to invest? You know, that's where you need to question yourself. Okay, so let's have a look then at the World card. So this is going into the end of the week. Like I said, I feel like a lot of you will be traveling. May even be just like, you know, a couple of towns away or whatever, but I feel like a lot of you will be away from home and visiting people. So you have the Ace of Wands, which is interesting, and you also have the Three of Cups. So yeah, lots more celebration, enjoyment, happiness, right? Going out, having a good time, exploring places maybe, you know, doing fun stuff, you know, really bringing that spark back into your life. Maybe you've been feeling a bit stagnant and, you know, just needing a bit of a reset, you know, ground yourself in some new environments. And it's going to give you that opportunity to do that, right? And maybe it will help you to clarify what it is that you're trying to create, what it is that you really want, right? But you'll just have the opportunity to kind of loosen up and enjoy life a little bit over the weekend, yeah? Okay, so what about early next week? That Ten of Cups in reverse. Hanged Man in reverse, so change your perspective. And Ten of Swords in the upright, so really coming to the end of a cycle, right? So whatever it is that you've been battling against on this level, you're no longer going to be able to suppress it. You're going to have to deal with it head on. There is no alternative, right? And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you change how you view the circumstance, you know? If you keep trying to deny, like live in denial with it and hide from it and pretend that it's not affecting you on such a level, then you're not going to change it. You're just going to be stuck within the same energy, and you're just going to keep looping, right? Fall into the same cycle of anxiety or depression or stress, right? Or whatever it is. It's only when you choose to not keep running with the inner chatter and masking your feelings with this imagined reality, and by approaching it head on, that you're going to be able to really heal and process and move forward, you know, in a very profound way, okay? It's holding you back right now. So you're going to have to address that, and that's going to come to the forefront at the beginning of next week. Maybe there'll be some kind of disagreement that flares that up, or there'll be someone that kind of just reveals something or brings some, you know, brings in some truth, and you're having to look at things from a new perspective because they're challenging your perspective on it, right? And so I feel like something will challenge your perspective on this circumstance, and you'll have no choice but to look at it from a whole new perspective. Okay, so what about the middle of the last week then with the Emperor? It's an Aries card, this. Again, fire sign, so it's not surprising that it's come up for you. I didn't expect it in this position, but it's definitely necessary. It's definitely relevant though. Let's have a look. Moon card, boom. So you're realizing that you have much more say and control than you think, and that actually you need to handle things very differently. You need to let go of this stubbornness and this desire to have everything, you know, under your control, right? Your way or the highway kind of energy. You have to drop that. What else? Okay, there's 2 come up there. Okay, Fool card in reverse. So, you know, having to address these things, these toxic behaviours, thoughts and patterns before you move forward towards this love interest / partnership. But it's definitely, there is definitely a romantic inclination here. You can see that with those 2 of Cups as well. Like, it's definitely geared towards the romantic side of things, if it is also, you know, work related. But before you can really move forward with this person, you're going to have to address these things within yourself. And you're going to have to challenge what it is that you actually want. Are you willing to invest? Do you have, you know, are you willing to give and meet halfway, you know, with this person? Can you compromise? Are you, you know, how serious are you about this connection? Because I feel like what's being communicated from this person, just by how it seems that you're responding to it, is that they're not looking for half measures, right? That they want the real deal, and they want to know if you're it, right? And that's maybe what's kind of frightened you a little bit, is that you don't feel like you want to invest to that level. You don't want to take it to serious levels of commitment, at least not at this stage, right? Or maybe you're worried that because that's probably what they want at some stage, and you're not sure you can give that, you're worried you're going to lose them, right? That you won't be able to have this new beginning with them. So you're going to have to really think about that and communicate clearly what it is that you do want, and see if there is, you know, if you are on the same page, because right now it's unclear. Okay, and then what about with this 3 of Cups at the end of the month, particularly over that last weekend? So you got the Ace. So maybe you have this communication and you find out that actually everything that you ever wanted is going to come to light. It's going to happen, okay? Or maybe you realize that actually you both want the same thing, right? Or something else comes into play and you realize that, oh, I know what I actually want and I'm going to go after it, you know? Because it's after me also. It's gravitating. Both ends of the spectrum are gravitating towards each other. But something's going to pan out. Something's going to come to your awareness, or you're going to go after something and you're going to get it, right? So that's why you're celebrating. You're celebrating a win of some kind. Let's see if we can find out more. What is the win that Leo is going to be celebrating? You didn't leave it up to chance, right? As much as you know that fortune favours the brave, yeah? So you didn't leave it up to chance. You went after it. You worked out what it is that you wanted here. You realised you had to communicate that very clearly if you wanted any shot of obtaining it. You did so, and then you had it. You were victorious, you know? You had that opportunity for everything you ever dreamed of, and that's why you're celebrating. You're celebrating the win, right? Because your risk of putting yourself out there paid off. That's what I feel like with that. Okay, let's see if there's any last messages in relation to the end of the month. Yeah, you had to do some soul searching. You had to come to realize what it is you truly desired, right? So it may be that some of the things you thought you wanted wasn't really at the core of your true wishes, right? So you went in, you found out what it is you truly want. You had the revelation. You're like, okay, that's what I actually want. That's what I'm going after. So that's what you did. And then you realized that actually I could have it. So that's really interesting. That's such an interesting read, Leo. It's kind of a lot of different energies here. It's a very mixed reading, okay? So there's a lot of positive, though, that's coming out of this, particularly towards the end of the month. A lot of positive things. But you have to put the work in, okay? And not just the pieces and the sections and the aspects that you want to. You have to do all of it, okay? Full package. You have to go all the way. You have to heal as much as you can before you try and embark on this next chapter. Obviously, healing takes time. It's a work in progress. We'll be doing it mostly for the entirety of our lives, right? Because there's so many things and multiple aspects and levels. But the important thing is you stop deceiving yourself, right? Because I feel like this is kind of you deceiving yourself here as well by painting an unrealistic picture in your mind and facing your pain, facing the circumstances that caused your pain head on so that you can heal and actually bridge this gap, find a middle point with this person and move towards happiness, okay? So, yeah, I wish you all the best with that. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments if this resonated with you. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. So, take care for now, Leo.